Now today we are looking at the Final Life playing cards. This is a really cool deck all around gaming. So if you are a gamer, you also like playing cards, this is a perfect deck for you. So this is just a prototype. You can check them out on Kickstarter literally right now. They're on Kickstarter. So head over to the Kickstarter. I'll leave it in the description below. First you want to see if the cards actually look good to see if you want to back the project, right? So that's what I'm here for. You can make sure to check out this entire deck right here. So subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified when I put a new review out every single Wednesday. Smash that like button and let's get into the review right now. Now the front of the tuck box you have to turn sideways to be able to see what it actually looks like. It has the power eject button. It has the reset and Final Life tuck for the Final Life playing cards. Just a really cool design. One side says concept by Jonathan Bird and illustrated by Jason Sawyer. And the other side is where you would plug in your controllers. The bottom has USB-C add copy. The top is the Final Life playing cards logo. And the back is the back design, which we will get into in a second, so I'm not leaving that there for too long. The inside tuck flap says Ready Player One, which, if I might add, is a fantastic movie, but fun feeling that's not what they're talking about. And the inside of this box is all blank, so let's take a look at these cards. Now, the prototype's back design are super cool, like an old gaming system control. You have the select and start, you have the arrows on the top and bottom, you even have the red, blue, green, and yellow buttons, and only one life remaining. And because you have the broken border in the top left and bottom right, fans are going to look amazing, which I'm going to show you in a little bit. But besides that, the only other thing you will see that the tuck box had, this part doesn't, which it will have, they just didn't have this on the prototypes yet, they ended up fixing it afterwards, is that the arrows are not on the arrows. Odd thing to say, but it's true. So the part in the middle that looks like a plus sign doesn't have the same arrows that the back of the tux does. The back of the tuck. This isn't a tuxedo. Well, you're not getting a full tuxedo. That's not what this deck is about. So if you want to see what it actually looks like on the full with the actual arrows on it, you can go ahead, rewind, and check out that. And each of your number cards are themed, which I think is really, really cool. So each one has its own theme, and the first one is the spades, which are health. So this is the health logo that they have come up with, and all of them are done the same way. And this is done in a blue instead of your normal black and red. So this time you have blue for your spades instead of your normal black, and I'll show you why this health looks like it the way it does when it get all the way to the aces. But we have to get through the rest of the number cards first. And here are your diamonds, which are the symbol for luck. So, 2 down, 2 to go. We have the clubs, which are the symbol for speed. I had to say it slowly because it was kind of contradictory and I thought it was funny. And last but not least, the hearts, which are revive, which makes a lot of sense because you have like a little heart pop up when you revive, so that makes a lot of sense. But don't use these cards too many times because or else you'll be on your final life. Before we get into the courts and aces and add cards, we're going to look at the jokers, which might be one of my favorite pieces. So, the jokers are super, super cool, like the old gaming system, but you also see, if you rewind, that there's also a 3 of clubs reveal on the one card. So, super cool way of doing this. Honestly, absolutely love these jokers. Might be one of my favorite jokers in relation to how a joker lines up with the deck. This is honestly one of my top jokers. Now for your court cards, all of them have been bicycle standardized, except for the fact that they are all recolored into the red, blue, and dark gray. So there's one there, here's another one here. So all of them are the red, the blue, and the dark gray. So that's all you're going to get. It's just some recoloring of the standard bicycle courts and then the switch of the actual pips and indices. Now I do wish they would have done a little bit of things like organic playing cards does, where like if they're doing the snackers, it's like blackberry snackers, each court card will hold something different in relation to blackberries. Like one will hold a blackberry pie, one will hold a blackberry jam. Like they're each holding something in relation to blackberries. Like the King of Hearts, instead of having the normal sword, it's a jam knife, and he's holding a piece of bread, so it looks like that's what he was just spreading the bread with. Like it's taking that and it's they're all holding their own thing in relation to with blackberries. I think they could have done this where like one held a controller, one like each of the court cards could have been holding something or had it in their clothes. I think that's a little bit of an opportunity miss there. And for your aces, you have the ace of diamonds, which is luck, the ace of clubs, which is speed, the ace of hearts, which is revive, and the ace of spades, which is health, saying final life playing cards. And honestly, I think these are extremely well done. Plus, I like the little bit of the 3D effect where it looks like it's a little like almost bubbly, where it's a 2D shape around the outside. We almost have a 3D inside. Like if you drew a 2D cup and then filled it with 3D water. It's a really cool way of doing that. I really did appreciate that. And honestly, most of the time I say that the ace of spades should be elevated above the other three aces, but since they have their own theme in this case, I actually kind of like it this way. Now the sides are all smooth, so we do not have to worry about that. And this deck can fan beautifully. Seriously. Because you have that broken border, you're going to have beautiful fans with that red and blue. So there's the fan on the one side, and here's the fan on the other side. And honestly, that's not my favorite just because it doesn't come far enough to the outside to where you can really see the different numbers and stuff unless you fan it all the way in the corner, which isn't really my favorite way of fanning. But, you know, at least the back design when you fan is going to look absolutely gorgeous. Now let's see if this deck can Faro. So just from bottom to top, honestly, this deck is literally just going every other, as you can tell. So bottom to top is 100% check mark for me. And from top to bottom, which usually has a little bit more of a problem through USPCC, but this deck clearly isn't USPCC because it's a prototype. So these prototypes fare well, but this isn't how it's going to be printed. So I really just did that for no reason. So USPCC is how this deck will be printed. I'm not sure on the stock and finish because they did not tell me that, but you can check out the Kickstarter where it tells you all the information you need to know. See what I'm doing there? See, that's some big brain time. You're welcome. So this deck is printed through USPCC, which means you know this is going to be a fantastic handling deck. Alright, now who should buy this deck of Final Life playing cards? I think if you're a magician, I think you can use it. I think it'll be a fun one. I don't think it's really suited toward magician on the back design. I think the faces will be easy to read. I don't really think that there should be much of a problem. Like, I'll just choose a random card here and I'll hold it up, hold it there, take it back. I didn't show it to you for very long. You know, it's the 5 hearts, right? So it's not a hard deck to read. It's not an easy deck to read necessarily, but the fact that you can just like boom, show it and take it down, and you know it's the 5 of hearts means you should be fine, right? The back design really doesn't look like a magician's back design, right? This looks more like a collector's design or a hype deck. So for cardists, I think you can use it. Once again, I think that the broken border looks fantastic, so I don't think that should be any problem with fanning, at least from the one side. The other side, I don't really see any hype about the other side, but packet cut should be fine because of the medium white border, so packet cut should be fine. And with the recolored faces, when you're doing things on the faces, it should always look good as well. But I don't think that if I was thinking to myself, is this a cardistry deck? Yes or no, and I can only choose one. I'd probably say no because it's not suited specifically at cardists. But I definitely think you can use it as a cardistry deck. Next would be for collectors. I think this would be one of the main ones that I would put this deck in. It's a gaming deck, right? So if you're a gamer and you like playing cards, this is a deck for you. So you're over here playing whatever game you like to play. If you're playing Warzone or whatever the heck it is, which I'm not a gamer, so I can't relate. But even though I'm not a gamer, I do really appreciate this. It reminds me like a Nintendo 64, which I had when I was little. So super cool. Loved the aesthetics of this. Just honestly, this is such a cool deck. Absolutely loved it. But even within this, I think that collectors, if you like collecting certain types of cards, so if you like collecting gaming cards or hype decks, etc., this would be a deck for you. And I really do think this is a deck that you could play games with because it's not really hard. It's not like obviously marked like a maiden back or something, so you don't really have to be like, oh, I already know what your card is, right? So it should be easy enough to play games. You can read the cards. If people don't really like to take care of cards, I wouldn't play with them, but easy enough to play cards with. And that's really all I can say about Final Life playing cards. And if you want to pick up some for yourself, they will be in the Kickstarter, the first link in the description below and on the pinned comment, so you guys can check them out for yourself. Now, if you guys did like this deck review, please sure to smash that like button, subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified when I post a new review every single week. That's crazy, right? And because you've stuck around for this long, I'm just going to tell you guys something. We have a 6-deck giveaway right now. So I'll leave that video in the description below, popping up on the screen or up at the top or wherever the heck all these things always pop up, so you guys can check that out. Now, before we get into the video, I have one other thing to say. Thank you to Sean Dowell. Sean Dowell is the first member of the Patreon that I have put together for you guys. He is in the Classic Force tier. Now, what is in the Classic Force tier? Well, if you want to know what's on that tier, I'll just tell you the 3 things about it. Now, I'm not telling you everything about it, but he gets entries into a monthly deck giveaway, in which the deck giveaway for this month is the Chameleon playing cards, which look like this, created by Aussie Wind himself. So if you want to get an entry into this one, he gets 3. Seriously, check out the Patreon if you want updates on Descendants playing cards. Once again, you can get that on the 3rd tier, which is the Classic Force tier, the one that he's in. So he's getting Descendants playing cards updates before everybody else. So seriously, go and check that out. Sean, you're dope. This man's legit. And you know what, I'm just going to give you 2 for now. So check that out. Patreon link is in the description as well, so you guys can hopefully get some Descendants playing cards updates over this deck, etc. And this was even before he even joined the Patreon. I was talking to him in the comments, and he was like, it was a Theory 11 deck review. And he said, well, I was asking everybody, like, what's your favorite Theory 11 deck? And he goes, well, mine are the Darren Brown playing cards. I'm like, okay, that's super cool. I mean, I've seen them, and they look dope, but I don't have them. He goes, let me send them to you. I'm like, are you being serious now? Like, you're not just pulling my leg? He goes, no, seriously, I have an extra. Seriously, watch this. I can literally go down here, and I did not buy these. Literally, he sent them to me. Look at this. It literally looks like a book, right? So you have Darren Brown, and it looks like a book back, and then the sides look like pages. So I'm totally reviewing this deck. Super freaking cool that he sent this to me, and honestly, the deck's just super cool. I've already reviewed it, it hasn't been uploaded yet, but seriously, this is such a cool deck, and thank you, Darren, for sending me this. So if you guys want to check out the Patreon, most people don't just, like, send people stuff, so maybe something in that Patreon is actually worth it. So make sure to check that out below. Check out Final Life playing cards, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. This is Card Perfect, signing off. Man, no, it's not. You already know what the deal is. Top 100 decks time. Give me a second, though. And we now have a new top 100 decks, and you have to wait till my birthday in November, which is now just a few months away, to see my top 100 decks. All of those that are going to be in there, technically like 102, because I'm also going to show you the 2 up on the super cool shelf that has a little secret with it. So if you guys want to check that out, wait till November, and we'll probably have some new decks coming in every single Wednesday, because that's when I do deck reviews. So seriously, make sure to stick around that. Now, for the second time, this is Card Perfect signing off.